Well, welcome back to episode 8. Ethan and I can't believe we've gone this far. Well, I can. I expected to get here at some point, but here we are.
I didn't expect to get here so fast.
Yeah.
It feels crazy.
And it's really episode 9 with the guest episode. But
Yeah.
I've learned a lot from 8 episodes, I guess, up to this point. And we're improving, we're growing. And I think, go ahead.
What's one thing you learned from this podcast? Not like about running podcast, but just like a useless piece of knowledge.
That we discussed.
Yeah.
Well, you brush your teeth once a day.
Oh, okay.
Terrible. You think, just going off a recent episode, Sunny D is a drink?
Yeah.
Or Sunny D is a
snack, which it is.
Oh, you still believe it's a snack? Okay, we got to move on from that. And just the craftsmanship of what goes into a podcast. So, with all that being said, we have a great episode here for you guys. I'm excited. This might be the most excited I've been for one of our episodes. Because we have, to start it off, you probably saw this in the title, our Gen Z nostalgia timeline. We're going through all the years of our childhood, of the Gen Z childhood, and we're going to bring back some memories and teach you about our childhood.
For the people that are listening to this in like the year 2030, that are like 10 years old or something, you want to know what it felt like back then for our childhood.
Yeah,
this is all you need. This is all you need.
If you're younger, if you're 13, 14, or if you're 30, 40, 50, 60, you can still learn about this. And if you're our age, you'll have some great listening experiences going back into your childhood. And hey, what happened in 2010? You're about to find out. So, you got that. Got a what's it worth. Hopefully this one doesn't go out the chute because someone's phone turns off. But we have
this one you're answering it. We got vintage T-shirts.
Yeah. Well, I'll get more into that later on. We have our question of the day. Do we spoil what the question of the day is now, or do we wait for later?
Let's save it.
Okay. Stay tuned for that. And lastly, we'll talk about our least and most favorite words.
Do you have a most favorite word? I don't know if I have one.
We'll get into that when the segment arrives. But to start it off, our Gen Z nostalgia timeline. So this is what Gen Z is. You're born either you start from 1995 to 2009. If you're born in between those years, you are Gen Z. So we saw it as what we have it per year. What happened in each year? I took the even numbers. Ethan took the odd numbers. We saw it as if you're born in 1995, what is the first year where you really start to remember your childhood? We have it out as you're about 10 or 11. So we started in 2006 as to where our Gen Z nostalgia timeline starts. We'll go all the way till 2019, and we'll discuss each year what happens that year that reminisces with our childhood. So I have the first one with 2006. You'll go to 2007. And we'll see what arises here, because I'm curious to see what you have, if anything really, because I did a lot of research for these, and I saw a lot of odd number years that I couldn't use.
I kind of just chose from the heart, what really came into my heart as I thought of these years.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that just me looking through the internet, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that.
I cried several times thinking of this. A lot of crying went into this, realizing how old I am.
So starting off with 2006,
I
have about 1 to 3 things per year, I'd say.
Okay.
For 2006, I have 4 actually.
What?
But I'll go pretty quick.
Okay.
This could be a long segment. I'll try and go quick. In 2006, I'm going to go with the least shocking to some of the ones I don't think you even remember.
Okay, take me
or
back.
Maybe remember. But anyways, in 2006, both the Wii and the PS3 first came out. I mean, the classic Wii. Remember, this first came out, so the Wii was a staple of all of our childhood, but started in 2006. And then I also have a movie I haven't seen, but I know so many people will relate to in 2006. Do you want to take a guess as a movie guy?
2006 that you haven't seen?
I mean, that's not giving away a lot. I haven't seen many movies.
Is it a cartoon or not?
It's not.
I'll go with the first Transformers movie or something.
No, it was High School Musical. Came out in 2006.
Wow. Dang.
So I know a lot of people, they like to.
I
that's
never really
their-
cared for that.
I
The
never
second
saw
one
it.
was weird because like the second one they're at like some sort of like summer camp golf resort place, and I remember that one vividly. But
Yeah, I don't know them at all, but I know people that are Gen Z born and raised. They love those movies.
I don't care for High
And
School
lastly,
Musical.
this might be my favorite thing I found, but in 2006, this was when Pluto was named not a planet.
Dang.
There you go. I thought that was pretty neat because I do remember that being a topic, and it was in 2006.
Yeah.
Although I was 4, so maybe I didn't remember it. Maybe it came a little.
I knew there was debate to whether Pluto was a planet or not, but had you asked me 30 minutes ago, I wouldn't have known. I'd
Yeah,
been like,
well-
well, maybe it's a planet, maybe it's not a
Well, in
planet.
2006, it was officially
Thank
named
you,
not a planet.
2006.
I wonder. See, that's the cool thing. Like, if you're 13, do you even know what Pluto is?
I think I knew the planets at a pretty young age.
Well, yeah, but now that Pluto isn't a planet, they probably don't talk about
Oh,
it.
yeah.
So if you're 13, comment or just let us know. Do you know what Pluto even is? Not the dog from.
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the non-planet. But anyways, let's hear about 2007.
2007, kind of relating to the Wii. I just went with the stronghold that Mario had on my life, whether it was Super Mario for the Wii or the DS. But in particular, this is something that I always wanted, and I still never even got, but it just has such a place in my heart. It's the Super Mario Galaxy poster. I don't know what
Poster.
about it, but
That's so specific.
just this.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I remember being in Brock's bedroom and seeing this poster on the wall. And as a kid, it felt so magical, and it just took me to such a place.
Can we confirm that's 2007?
I think it came out in 2007.
Okay. Because mine are like, it came out in 2000 whatever. It happened in 2000 whatever.
I'll fact check real
If
quick.
is yours more of a feeling like, oh, I feel like in 2007 this was my thing?
I took these feelings in my heart, and then I took them into research. So
Okay.
yeah, it came out in 2007.
Okay, good job.
I don't know, like Super Mario for the Wii. I don't know, but
Yeah, but no.
I definitely
Super
played
Mario,
it in 2007.
Super Mario Galaxy, definitely a top tier game for 2007.
And there was a point, like, the side-scroller Mario games that we had on the DS, that wasn't a thing in, like, 2000. In the year 2000, they had, like, Super Mario 64 and stuff. They didn't have what we had. That's what I can't comprehend.
Yeah,
But
that's a good point.
thank you, Mario.
So is that your 2007? I'll go on to 2008.
I went to
2008.
Super Mario.
2008 and 2010 were the toughest for me to find, surprisingly. But for 2008, what I whipped up. So in 2008, the book Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Roderick Rules was
Okay.
released. So Diary of a Wimpy Kid as a whole, I feel like really spoke to our childhood.
Yeah.
I know people that don't like
I
it.
was there for the rise and fall of it.
Yeah. So Roderick Rules was like the only notable book that, of course, landed on an even year. The first one came out in 2007, I think. And then the third one, I forget what that one was, came out in 2009.
On the count.
Which
go,
one?
Go ahead.
But yeah, Roderick Rules, a classic book. If you're, how old were you reading these? Like 11?
Third grade. So
Third grade. It's like 9, 10?
I think like 8 or 9.
Okay. So yeah, if you're a little Jimmy out there, read Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Roderick Rules.
Now, do you have a favorite book? And don't say it. If you do, we're gonna
I
say it on
don't-
the count of 3.
I don't remember them too well, but I'm gonna pick one that
You can say the color or name on the count of 3.
I don't even know if I know the name, but it was yellow.
Yeah, Dog Days.
Dog
That's the yellow
Days.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one I remember the most. But I
Something
think
about that book. The green one was not good. Something about the green one. It just
is that
didn't pack
the
a
third
punch.
one.
Yeah.
I don't remember them that well. I remember having the book though, where you could like fill it out yourself. It was like,
Yeah, that's when the
That's-
movie came out.
yeah, that's probably my favorite one because I filled it in. But
I like the purple one too, because there's a part where like he slept over in the school, and I always wanted
Yeah.
to do that.
See, I
That's
remember
basically what
some of that.
Minithon is.
yeah, I do
But-
remember some of the like the popular scenes. But if you told me what a book was about, I couldn't tell you.
I thought of Diary of the Wimpy Kid, but I didn't go with it just because it covers so many years.
Yeah, it does. So
Right.
I gave you the book, but
Yeah.
like I said, 2008 was tough. So let's hear 2009.
2009, this was kind of the start of a revolution. You had video games on the DS and the Wii. Now we have video games on the phone. And when Angry Birds dropped in 2009, that was just revolutionizing for mankind, man.
Angry Birds.
I don't know if it's my favorite mobile game. I like Jetpack Joyride. I'm a cut the rope type of guy.
Yep.
Rules of Survival as we grew older was pretty fire. But Angry Birds really started it all. So, and then they branched out in like Angry Birds Space when it was like Star Wars and stuff, and they had all these themes.
Angry Birds, still around today.
I'll throw in one of the greatest movies of all time from one of the greatest actors of all time who was on fire in 2009. Paul Blart Mall Cop dropped.
That was 2009.
Yeah, that is such a good movie. Go back and watch it. You will be laughing left and right. It's no joke. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
like joke after joke after joke. Kevin James, you're an icon.
I was 7 when it came out. So
I don't know if I watched it in 2009, but
probably not. But it's that movie is definitely a part of our childhood. You can't everybody has that on DVD at home. Hard copy. Copy.
Blu-ray and everything.
I never grew up with Blu-ray. I never had Blu-ray. I was not.
I never got the hype about Blu-ray.
Yeah, I was never acquired with the technology to run Blu-ray. I probably am now. I don't know, but there you go. So what are we on now?
2010.
2010. Like I said, 2010 was also tough, but if you might understand my answer if you listen to previous episodes.
Let's see, okay.
You heard that I was a Justin Bieber fan as a child.
Okay.
So when Baby came out in 2010, that was on replay the whole year. And in addition, the first ever iPad came out in 2010.
Nothing about the iPad made me like, oh, I want that. It just seemed so out of reach for me as a kid. It seemed like it was for adults.
In 2010, I didn't have this.
Nowadays, you have like 4-year-olds with iPads, I feel like, but it was more for adults back then, I feel like.
It wasn't so much a childhood thing, but more so the start of what we currently know.
Baby, though, man. Justin Bieber. Yeah.
Oh,
just that feeling of like being a star on YouTube and the music video dropping on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah. Music.
That was crazy.
I wonder when music videos really started.
I think
on YouTube.
I think 2010. Yeah.
You would say 2010, because I do remember just sitting at the desktop computer and having the music video on, and clicking through like Usher and other music videos.
I don't think I was as obsessed with J Biebs as you were. I didn't quite have Bieber fever.
I guess yeah, you could say I had Bieber fever.
Yeah. Rightfully so. He was on top of the world back then.
Yeah,
I mean, there was that weird point where like he started getting older and he was like, this is kind of gross now. But
yeah, I guess he's a few years older, so I looked up and was like, oh, I can become that.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I wanted to become that, but at the time I did. I'm sorry. I've grown out of that phase a long time ago.
So you went music for 2010. I also went music for 2011.
Oh.
This isn't like as statistical. This is kind of more so a feeling. But I looked at all the years I had, and out of them, I think 2011 was the best year for music. It was prime Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, and Black Eyed Peas. And for my childhood, that was like the holy trinity for me. Like, Katy Perry, man. Firework, E.T., TGIF.
Those all came out in 2011?
I don't know, but I remember walking around in 2011 with my iPad blasting them.
Yeah,
Firework came out in 2011, I think. Lady Gaga had Poker Face and Paparazzi, I think.
I know you like those songs.
Lady Gaga is so good. She might be in like my top 5 favorite musicians of all time. She is good, man. I was thinking the other day, she is the Elton John of women. I think so. Just give them just a piano and just their raw talent. They can put on a show.
Outside of those 2 songs, what else does she have? I just look at like.
I didn't even mention Bad Romance. That's a good one.
I know those 3 songs.
She's got Just Dance.
She has a song named Just Dance?
Yeah, I don't know if the game was named after that song or something. But she's got some new ones. She had a song in the Top Gun movie that's like blown up, I guess. She's still relevant.
I can't relate to her. I always saw her wearing costumes.
Yeah,
I'd be like,
I wasn't a fan of the costumes back then.
but I mean, if you got good music, you got good music, I guess.
She wore like a costume
And-
just made of pure
and
raw
when-
meat. It was.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing?
And when you combine music with nostalgia, you got something beautiful there.
yeah,
Because it doesn't go away. You can keep playing it and playing it. A lot of nostalgia, it fades away, but music, it lasts forever.
music takes you back to that year, man.
Yeah. And a quite different take on music again in 2012. This is not
Oh, I know where you're going. Is this a certain Korean man?
it is.
Oh yeah,
Gangnam Style.
Yeah, Ooppa, Gangnam Style.
2012.
Yeah.
Why this was so popular, I do not know. But you had to be there for it. For some reason, this song, how do you compare this to a current day? This is like
I mean,
the whip, the nay-nay,
no, it's kind of like
kind of. Because you had the dance move with it.
if Despacito was like at like a 7 out of 10, Gundam Style was like at a 15 out of 10. That was insane. It was the most viewed YouTube video of all time back then.
At that time.
And then I think Despacito took it over.
Yeah, but Despacito doesn't have the dance move to go with it.
No, the dance move is insane. I still bring it to I pull it out at any party, man. Ooppa Gundam Style.
Yeah, it's just no one even knew what they were saying. That's the
Yeah.
That's,
I
same with
remember
Despacito,
I remember
but
seeing that music video for the first time on the news. Cause it's like, oh, and here's this Korean man that's blown up on the internet.
it might have been the first time in my childhood that we saw something that big from outside the U.S.
That might have been the first time I ever heard of South Korea as a
Yeah.
country or North Korea.
Yeah, like this really opened our brains to what's going on other parts of the world.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, this internet thing's starting to branch out and bring, piece it all together, starting to connect with other sides
No,
of the
that
world.
was insane, man.
Just a crazy time. I think 4th grade. Am I wrong with that?
That sounds right. Fourth
I
or
remember
fifth grade.
doing the dance in 4th grade. So
Yeah.
at least. In
I
4th
wonder what
grade.
that guy's up to nowadays.
Yeah, does he have a second good song, or is this it?
He came
How-
out with a second song like a year or two later. I think it was called Gentleman. It didn't hit as much
Yeah,
as
you
Gangnam
can't-
Style.
Something
But-
this big, you can't top it. It's almost a scary thing as an artist when you have such a big song. How do you top that? You almost can't.
I don't even know why it got so popular.
I don't know either. I don't
That
know
was
either.
insane though.
But let's hear your 2013.
So you kind of kicked it off with the YouTube blockbuster pop video and stuff. 2013 and forward, this is when YouTube started getting its feet and trends started becoming a thing. I have the Harlem Shake for YouTube.
Ooh.
I wasn't
20 Yeah, that's 2013.
Yeah, I
Yep.
didn't take part in it like most people did because I was too young back then. But it grew like wildfire all over the internet.
Harlem Shake. Man.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I know it. How
Do
did
the Harlem.
the Harlem Shake? That's
I kind of want to create a Harlem Shakes now, but it'll be 100% cringe.
yeah, no.
'Cause we're
It's
10
in the
years
past.
That was 10 years ago. Oh my.
Yeah, after this we're finally getting back in the single digits.
Holy cow.
yeah.
I also had selfies for 2013.
That was that's a good one.
They're so normal we don't even think about it back
Yeah,
then. There
I
was a point
remember-
when selfies weren't a thing.
Yeah.
And there was
you
a song about
had-
selfies now that I think about it. Let me take a selfie.
That was 2013,
I don't know, but
but it all started the selfie era in 2013.
that's insane.
Yeah, and mirror selfies has to be up there too in 2013, 2014.
Yeah, whenever mirror selfies kind
At
of
least
dawned with
2015.
Instagram.
Because I remember one of my first Instagram posts was
I remember that post.
a
Yeah,
mirror selfie. I wasn't a selfie guy. I was a mirror selfie guy in my
I never
youth
took a mirror
prime.
selfie. I posted
Good.
a selfie on Instagram once. It was weird.
and
Just got back from my baseball
And-
game.
going back on things you posted on your Instagram in 2014, we have the birth of Dub Smash.
Oh,
You owned Dub Smash back in the day.
Yeah.
And then
All
Dub Smash was
around
the
me.
comedy people, but also in 2014 you had the music side of it, the girl side of it. Musically was also a 2014
Ooh.
release, which I never dabbed or dubbed in, but yeah, musically that was a big thing.
Musically turned into TikTok. Is that what it was?
I think so.
We're-
Did it?
We didn't get there yet, but
I
like
guess-
2018-19, Musically was like looked at as like no one respected musically, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I didn't see a lot of respect towards that. And then all of a sudden, it kind of like shifted into TikTok, I think, and it became such a big thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Dub Smash had it first. They could have been big.
They're basically the same thing, just lip syncing, right?
It's
Musically,
just
it's lip syncing music.
Dub
Dub Smash
Smash
was
is
lip
like-
syncing like sounds, like
Yeah.
from Family Guy or
Yeah.
Simpsons or
Yeah, and then I can't.
chocolates.
Yeah, Dub Smash was.
Chocolate.
Yeah,
That
maybe
was on
we'll
my
have to put up
Instagram.
one of your Dub Smashes from your childhood up here to. You get to see Chubby Ethan in his youth
I'm thinking
doing
about
a
Braden's Dub
2014.
Smash right now.
Chocolate! Chocolate! Chocolate!
Yeah, I didn't want to
Ray,
throw him under
absolute-
the bus because he's not gonna let me put that up here.
Okay.
But it was a Mariah Carey song. And
Don't
then
make
as
me
soon
feel whole, yeah.
as soon as you hit the highest point, we were such young kids. He just all the snot out of his nose came out on purpose.
It was
It's
a
like,
miraculous.
like you expect him to hit that high
feat.
note, and instead it's just snot rockets. But yeah, Dub Smash.
I forgot about Dub Smash. That was a good pick.
Yeah, and yeah, what a time to be alive.
It fell off pretty quick, though, I feel like.
Yeah, it was a 2014.
It was
thing,
no
and
more
that
than
was-
like 6 months of relevancy.
Yeah, that was 2014 and 2014 only, just about. Maybe 2015, but let's hear 2015.
2015, this is the age of trends, like I guess. Trends, like what is coming and going, what is blowing up, just like the Harlem Shake. This is an item. It's the hoverboard.
Oh,
Yeah. I had a hoverboard. I saved up money. It took so long. I finally got one. It was the best 2 weeks of my life, and then I realized I could only ride around my living room for so long before it got kind of boring.
Yep.
And I was too embarrassed to take it in public and be the fat kid that was too lazy to walk. It's like, look at me,
Yep.
guys.
Yep, and we had a hoverboard. Is it?
Oh.
Right there it is. Under
Yeah.
my vitals. There's my
Yeah.
brother wanted a hoverboard for some reason, and what a waste of money. They got cheaper pretty fast. I remember when they
They
first
became killing
popular.
machines.
Yeah, they dropped in price. That was probably $200 to $300. I don't really remember, but just again, yeah, our house isn't big enough to do laps and not get tired of it. So yeah, realistically, you were in one or two rooms, and there's just no use for it.
They were such safety hazards.
You couldn't
too.
take it outside. You needed a super flat surface. Well, you could take it outside, but you had to be careful.
I remember going up a hill in it. It wasn't a steep hill, but it was hard.
Yeah, and if you have any ledges or anything, you're screwed because
And
they're
you-
heavy. It's not like
Yeah, they
it's,
were.
It's not a skateboard. You're not, going off a few flights of stairs or I don't know. But
I still think they were
You're-
pretty impressive, though, just the science behind it. I still don't
It
get how it
was-
worked.
it is a neat product. Why it was so popular is understandable. It's a
Oh,
neat
yeah, there was
piece of
nothing like
technology,
it.
But just why people bought them, I guess. Like why
They
people
were
like me and
pricey.
you would buy them
Yeah. no.
because there's just no practical use for it.
The first, couple weeks of owning that, though, it brought me so much joy. And then you get to laugh when you record, your dad or grandpa trying to go it, and
Yeah,
they
some
break
great-
they break their tailbone
A lot
or
of
something.
injuries. I'm surprised more things didn't come out of the injuries. I guess they really lawsuited up.
Well, people fell off of them. They kind of, started fires in your garage.
The fires, yeah.
Because you would charge it, and then you would touch it, and that thing's it would feel like it's 150 degrees.
Yeah,
It's
well,
about to blow up.
People would just leave it in the charger for a day or two, and then it wouldn't stop charging. So
Yeah, I don't know
Gotta-
how that got passed by whoever inspected these things to make sure they were safe.
yep. But that's a good pick. Good job.
Yeah. I also put dabbing. Let's forget about dabbing.
dabbing.
I think the dab came. Yeah, the dab came after the whip and nay nay. What even started that?
And then my favorite part about the dab was when it's a picture of someone's dad from 1980. And they're like, "Oh, the first ever dab," and all he's doing is just looking at his elbow. It's
yeah.
not a. Yeah, a very weird one. Luckily, it died off pretty fast.
Was that a thing from rap or sports? When you would
I
get a
know Cam
touchdown?
Newton was a big one.
Cam Newton, yeah.
But I don't think he didn't create it. He did not create that.
I think it probably came from some song or music video.
Yeah, where did the dab originate?
'Cause that's where the whip and nay nay came from.
In Atlanta, Georgia rap scene.
Yeah. All right. Let's not talk about the dab anymore. Let's.
Yeah, the
burn
dab.
that
We're not
from-
we're not proud of the dab.
Yeah,
Like,
no, we're not.
People like to look back on nostalgia and like, oh, I miss that. Not the dap.
It might bring a couple laughs to the table if you bust it out now, but don't do it seriously. You
Yep.
will not make yourself look good.
All right. Moving on to 2016.
We're getting closer and closer to present day.
Yes. 2016, what fueled or gave the idea to this? Paint the picture here. A few days ago, Ethan and I were playing basketball at a church, and Ethan was wearing a Harambe shirt. 2016
Never
is when he
forget.
passed. And one of the kids on our team is a very talented 14-year-old. And Ethan, for some reason, was like, yo, do you know what this is? And he's like, no, I don't. And I was there like, there's no way this kid doesn't know who Harambe is.
It took all the strength in me not to fall on my knees when he said he didn't know
And
who
then
Harambe was.
That's when I did research on what Gen Z really was, because I knew I was a Gen Z person born in 2002, but I didn't know what the range was. Turns out he was 14, born in 2009. That is the very end of Gen Z, so he is a Gen Z child, and he doesn't know about Harambe. So that's what inspired Ethan and I to go through the years and educate our Gen Z people and those before and after of what Gen Z nostalgia timeline looks like. So yes, Harambe 2016, but also in 2016, not as relevant now, but it lasted a few years. Pokemon Go.
That's
hype,
what I thought of. Yeah,
That's the biggest hype in all of these years, I think. Is that are you allowed to say that? And all of these years, the
my
most hyped.
2017 gives Pokemon Go a run for its money.
Well,
But
it
Pokemon Go was
originated.
so good though.
I just remember I used to watch like the videos of like people figuring the game out. Like, yo, if you spin the ball and throw it, do you catch more Pokemon? Or,
I just think it was so beautiful how it brought together friends and communities. It helped people get outside and just go on
Yes.
walks and enjoy nature. It also kind of ruined vacations because you'd go to the beach and you're like, oh my God, there's
Yeah,
Pokemon everywhere.
it was
Like,
just
stay off your
amazing.
phone.
Yeah, it was just amazing going to a popular area and seeing 70% of people playing this game.
Yeah.
Like, this took over people. It took over our generation.
I've got coworkers
For
today
about
that
a
are
year or
still
two.
obsessed with it.
Yeah, it's still around.
They do it more like competitively, I
And
guess.
There was just nothing better than shout out to Ryan, our good friend Ryan and his dad. His dad was Ryan Forsyth and his dad. They were big Pokemon Go players, and we couldn't drive at the time, which was a big thing. You had to
Ooh,
get to
yeah,
different
man.
places. So shout out to Ryan Forsyth's dad for always being one to take us to the museum or
The museum was a gold
Boyertown
mine.
was a good one at the time. Birdsboro was also pretty good. But him taking us to those different spots, having a nice good 2 or 3 hours walking around with phone chargers. Don't forget the portable phone chargers. That was a necessity. Like, there's got to be a post out there of like the Pokemon Go like outfit. Like, you had the backpack with 3 waters. You had the phone charger.
I was never that much of a sweat.
I wasn't, but if you dedicated a night to playing Pokemon Go, you
I
had
think
to.
you
had
were
to
a little
prepare.
bit of a sweat because when we were on the school bus and you saw that there was a Snorlax near
Yeah.
Wawa,
Oh man, I forgot
you
about
wept like a girl.
that. Yeah.
Do you want to tell the story?
Yeah,
or-
I forgot about that, dude. That's funny.
So we were on the school bus heading home from school, and we passed the Wawa, and me
Red
and
light.
Garrett,
We were at a red light.
yeah, we're at a red light. Me and Garrett are checking the Pokemon, seeing what comes up,
Oh man.
and none other than a Snorlax appears at the Wawa. I don't even know if I was on the game, but I know Garrett was. He goes, Snorlax! But something happens where it turns a green light, and Garrett is just not fast enough to get the Snorlax.
Yeah, you had to catch it before the bus moved. And
You practically fell in the middle of the aisle.
When the bus started moving and it disappeared, I fell in the middle of the aisle. Yes,
I didn't
'Cause
even
that is
feel.
a-
I didn't
that's a
even feel embarrassed
desirable-
for you. I felt your pain there.
That's a
Back
desirable Pokemon. So I was.
The
That was
Snorlax
painful.
was the most valuable thing in the world back then.
That was painful. I was laid out in that aisle. Good luck,
Yeah.
Joe wasn't the bus driver. He would have thrown a fit.
I don't know if it was Joe. I think Joe was high school. This was like middle school.
Yeah, I'm saying good thing he wasn't. 'Cause he
Okay,
was
yeah.
a big aisle guy. But yeah. And I also had the secondary app where it'd like tell you where Pokemon were at.
Oh,
That
dang.
came out a little bit
Yeah, you were
later.
definitely a sweat.
I was a sweat for about a year.
You
which-
got outside, though. You got your steps in.
Yeah. This is why I'm not fat, possibly.
Maybe.
I'm getting there, but
All right. So Pokemon Go is a big one.
Pokemon Go.
But
2 left, 3 left. 2017.
2017, you look back and you go, are you kidding me? How come everyone, your friends, your family, your teachers, your dogs, why was everyone obsessed with fidget spinners?
Yep.
It's like
Yep.
I was down bad to the point where I would go to the mall kiosks and I would make my poor dad spend like $60 on 2 fidget spinners. Just because it had a cool design to it.
Yeah.
What was wrong with me?
Yeah. Fidget spinners.
And it
creation
felt
of
like
fidget
it felt
tools.
like the right thing to do back then.
You needed one. All the different types and models. I'm pretty sure like Nathan and Preston in our friend group were the first people to have fidget spinners. It was like theirs were like they made theirs. I think.
Alec too.
they-
I feel like first I remember of it was a science class. This one kid he was spinning it around, and then that kind of branched off.
Yeah, fidget spinners. People were going crazy over them. They're still a thing now. Like now they're used more for like people who can't pay attention. Like it's a useful little.
That's
tool.
what it's always been for. But
No,
we
when it was popular, everyone was using them as it was distracting.
well,
them.
yeah, we just hijacked the mission. I
Yeah.
think. But
But
originally it was meant for ADHD people. They had the
Yeah.
cubes and whatnot.
yeah, but once they became popular, it was all that was out the window. No fidget
I'm trying to
spinners.
remember, like, when did I have
It was
time
like-
to spin that thing?
It was like bringing a knife to school. If a teacher saw you with a fidget spinner, they were taking it.
Yeah, maybe not as bad as bringing a knife to school. But
Not as the consequences aren't there, but
yeah.
that's how the teachers reacted when they saw fidget spinner. Give me that thing.
I'm just trying to remember when did we have the time to use these things? Like, were we just
Whenever?
sitting on the couch eating our dinner, just spinning them?
Yeah, when it was like a phone. You used it like a phone whenever you had time. You're just spinning the dumb thing.
Dang.
And yeah, it was so hard to get your hands on. And then everyone overproduced them trying to get them ready. And then when it died off, there's so many fidget spinners.
I
for
could
like
probably
5
get
cents.
like the ones I would sell for $50 now. I could get it for like 50 cents.
Yeah,
So 2017,
fidget spinners.
this is kind of when humanity started going on the decline, I'd say.
You think so? Oh yeah, you're right. It's
No,
my-
it started when we did the whip and nay. That is by
No, there was some good stuff back there
okay.
back then. But you're right with 2017 because my 2018 does not end is not a good thing.
I don't know.
Tide Pods.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. After 2017, 2018, things started to fall off. Still great years of our childhood, but that's when.
I wouldn't call that childhood. I would call
What do you mean not childhood? We're in like junior high in 2018. Freshman in high school in 2019.
childhood, I would say, is
You're
like-
a child in high school.
I define childhood as up to 6th grade. Past that is like the good old days with the boys.
It's
I
you're
don't
still a
call
child.
the memories with the boys. I don't call that my childhood. I call that the
Well,
good old
you're
days.
not. You're what? No, you're.
I'm 19 now.
Yeah, you're only 19 still. Well, yeah, that's because you're 19. I'm 20. I guess I'm a bit older. I don't
Yeah.
feel it, but yeah, I look at high school. I'm like, yeah, I was a little Jimmy in high school.
I didn't take part in the Tide Pods. I'm glad I didn't. I just faced.
Well, yeah. If you don't you die if you eat one?
I didn't even.
You're
I didn't
like,
even.
I didn't
I didn't
take part
even
in that.
acknowledge Tide Pods as
Yeah.
a joke. I'm just like, look at you.
Yeah, weird little time. This wasn't as big as some of these other things. Like this was still a pretty small percentage of people messing with Tide Pods.
I don't think.
I hope.
I'm not even sure if anyone actually ate them. I just remember the memes. But
Yeah.
I hope no one ate Tide Pods.
Yeah, I'm pretty because it has bleach in it, right?
Yeah, it's
And detergent?
It's poison.
Yeah. So yeah, Tide Pods not as cool of a thing in 2018. 2019. Can we end on a good note here?
So this is the last one.
Yeah,
Uh,
because 2020 is COVID.
this is a good note for me. Hot take. 2020 was. I had a great time in 2020. That was a blast year. Let's go back to 2019 though. I don't think you're gonna like this one because you don't like movies. But back then, this was a culmination of a 10-year journey. Avengers Endgame. When it came out, that
It was
was
big.
just. It was the definition of pure community and fellowship for a piece of art. Just movies were never I don't know. Before Avengers Endgame, you wouldn't go to the movie theater and cheer out loud like you did, I think. Even when the first Avengers movie came out, you were like, yeah, cool, that was fun. Avengers Endgame, people were like screaming in the theaters. They were cheering, they were clapping, they were crying. That was just, it felt like the final chapter.
All those emotions.
Certain period of time.
All those emotions. I've never seen it.
Yeah, I know. But
I know people are going to hear that. I'm sorry. I don't watch movies that often anymore. And
there's
never seen Endgame.
There's a fellow on my track and field team. This movie meant so much to him that he cried. He cried at track practice because he wasn't allowed to see the movie because he had to go to practice instead. So, and I'm like, dude, I feel your pain. I feel your pain, man. So,
yeah.
I
Yeah,
know
that was a big
you
one.
can't relate to that one.
I can't, but I can relate to the time period. I still saw people around me saying, "Oh, no spoilers."
Yeah, people would go into the theaters and be like, "Bro, Hulk dies," without even
Does he?
seeing the movie. Hulk did not die. In
I
that
saw
movie.
all the spoilers, and I still don't remember them.
Yeah.
Wait, no, who? Spoilers don't matter now. Is that when Iron Man died?
Iron Man died in that
Okay,
movie, yeah.
okay, yeah.
It's just Marvel movies were just such a prestigious event back then.
That when you talk about 2019, I think it's fair to talk about that.
I think
movie.
nowadays Marvel, I don't think they pack the punch they do anymore because it's kind of quantity over
Well,
quality.
Yeah, I mean they still have the bigger movies like Spider-Man was big, but
Spider-Man was big, but even like Ant-Man, which came out a couple weeks ago,
Yeah,
that was a forgettable experience. No one cares about
Yeah.
that anymore.
and
So,
I don't watch movies.
Spider-Man
I mean-
No Way Home was a huge moment. There you go, Napoleon
Greatest
Dynamite.
movie of all time. The only movie I need to see, and the Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire movies.
Yeah, but
And
Avengers
then
Endgame was something else.
After like 2005, I stopped watching movies.
So, I don't. I mean, maybe if there's a kid watching this in like the future, if you haven't seen MCU movies yet, yeah, definitely go through the journey and Avengers Endgame. It'll be completely worth it for you.
Yeah, that's one of the
But
main reasons.
You could stop after that if you ask me.
Yeah, but that's one of the main reasons I do this podcast. One day I want to show my kids all these dumb conversations. So they'll look at this and be like, man, my childhood's so much different from this one. That'll be a neat moment when I can watch my kid watching this. Be like, Dad, you're an idiot. But also, this is kind of cool. And, yeah, there you go.
Dad, why are you
complete-
crying about a Super Mario poster?
There you go. A
Wouldn't
complete
understand.
Gen Z nostalgia timeline. There you go. Well, it's not complete. There's so much more
That's about
defined.
everything. We covered everything important that happened for the 10
Yeah.
years of history.
This was a kind of like moment of realization for me because I looked up like what happened in 2006 and I was expecting like all these fun things to come out and it was like all these war things and like important things that happened. I'm like,
Yeah, we don't have to focus on the recession of 2008 or who won president or who went to war with who. Let's focus
like,
on the fidget spinners and hoverboards.
Yeah, I had to look up like Gen Z childhood starter pack just to find what I wanted. I couldn't look up what happened in 2010. But this is what actually happened.
Yeah, this should be in the history books.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why it is not.
The Harlem Shake
Now it is.
and Katy Perry
yes.
and Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Oh yeah. But they have it. That was fun. I enjoyed that.
That was a bittersweet segment. I feel old now.
It's nothing like nostalgia, and that's something we're experts on. We lived through it.
Yeah.
Which is it's funny because we're not experts at any of this really. We're not expert podcasters by any means.
We're
just
experts at
stupidity,
yes.
and we take pride in it.
Yes.
But something, although not an expert, something that I would consider myself in the 1% in, this next segment is What's It Worth? Vintage T-shirts. For those who don't know, I have a vintage clothing business called Vintage Ooze. I buy and resell vintage clothing, T-shirts, jackets, whatever, hats from 90s, 80s, 70s. It's my main income right now. I'm going to be a teacher, but while I'm in college, this is my main income. But it's mainly a hobby. So Ethan, who doesn't know much about this at all,
No.
he found a few T-shirts that sold, and I'm gonna have to guess what they sold for.
Oh yeah.
Because I should be able to value these T-shirts, and these T-shirts go for hundreds of dollars. Not all of them, but
Some shirts could be $6. Some shirts could be $6,000 that I found.
it's crazy where the value that can be in something like this, an old rag T-shirt from 1992. But the value's there, and I'm gonna see if I can accurately get it. And do I win the shirt if I get it on the money? Because I'd
I
imagine these are pretty expensive.
don't know because these are already sold.
All
We'll
right.
come up with something. I'll let you kick me in the shin if you get the right price.
Okay. All right.
Okay. First up, I'm not a huge fashion guy.
I'm not
So
either.
I was looking for shirts that appealed to my likings, movies, food, music.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
first off, let's start it with a shirt that covers a movie. I guess you could say it's a vintage movie now because it came out in 2000, actually 1999.
I was going to say, that's not too old.
This is a Star Wars shirt. This is a Darth Maul shirt. Look at that
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Look at that thing.
I've seen this shirt.
You've seen that?
Yeah.
Dang it. Do you want to see the back or have you already seen that too?
I'll look at the back. But Darth Maul 1999 T-shirts are very popular.
Dude, if you get this, I'm
So
walking out.
there's some value there, definitely. Especially the
That's
all-over
his ship
print.
on the back.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Show me the front again, and I'll give it a price. But, yeah, the Darth Maul T-shirts in the vintage community are pretty big. Yeah, the
Wow.
first...
That's
I like to call it the first Star Wars movie. I know it's not, but in the series,
it's the first in
Yeah.
the timeline.
But a beautiful shirt. When a vintage shirt like this has a design on the entire shirt, the all-over print, as they call it, skyrockets.
I would
in
wear that
value.
shirt anywhere. I'd wear it to the grocery store, the gym.
Yeah, it's
I'd bring it to buy.
desirable. It's has artwork. It's nostalgic. Is it? Am I guessing dollars and cents or dollars?
This has no sense, I don't think.
Let's go. This easily. See, this sold. So I don't want to say what I would list it as, although that's some of it. But
Your
it's
predictions for
sold.
the meme thing were good. Let's see how your predictions
Yeah.
for this are good.
Let's go. I'm gonna undershoot it a little bit from what I would list it as. Let's go with $98.
Okay. Garrett, I can already tell you that's a bit low. I think that's actually a lot of low.
Okay, can I make a second guess then?
Oh, you don't get to kick me in the shin.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's low. Cause 98, when something sells, I feel like normally it sells for less
Yes.
than I would value it at. I'll go with like 155 then.
Garrett, this Darth Maul shirt sold for $350.
Wow. Yeah.
And I bought it. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's a very big one, but the last time I've seen Darth Maul stuff, they were selling for good money, but
He is such a cool character.
didn't know they really picked up in value like that. Nice. Hopefully I find one now.
I want that shirt. Yeah.
That's a cool shirt.
Hopefully I don't have to spend
It's
money
crazy
for it,
because
though.
all of these shirts at one point in time they were selling for $20-$30. That's what's so cool about this.
Yeah.
They aged and just skyrocketed in value.
All right, next up. It's the most magical place on Earth. Let me zoom in. It's the most magical place
Oh,
on
is
Earth.
this Disneyland?
This is an
Disney
ugly
World?
Disneyland shirt.
That is awesome. I would.
You like that?
Yeah.
It's poppy, but I don't know about awesome.
Oh wait, is that the? No, you have the price covered. Okay. That is cool because you have the black and white print, but then you have this areas of color that really make the areas of hierarchy pop. That's a cool shirt.
Cooler than the Darth Maul shirt? You know
I've
it's
never-
not.
I've
you know
never-
it's not.
I've never been to Disneyland. If I love Disneyland, then I'd say yes, but I can relate more to the
I was
Darth
there
Maul shirt.
once. Yeah.
I've never seen that one. That's a really, really cool shirt.
Okay.
You said before the episode started that you would not go in order of price. So now that makes me think I should go less in value than the last one. Let's go
Playing
with
the game here.
let's go 200 and I don't like your response. $225.
You're low again.
Dang. That is a
That-
really cool shirt.
That sold for $568.
Yeah. That's a really unique design because I've never seen it. so-
Personally, I would not work a whole week's worth and then put my paycheck towards that. But it's bold. I've never seen a shirt like it.
It's a cool shirt.
I'd probably pay $50 for that, which is still a lot for my price range. But
I mean, it aged to perfection.
have you ever
That's-
been to Disney World either?
No.
Man,
You know the furthest.
Universal Studios?
No.
Dang.
We've talked about this. I've only been like 5 hours away from home, and that's
Oh.
Pittsburgh. I'm going
Damn.
overseas soon, but that's the furthest I've been. I've been like nowhere.
I thought you might have like gone there when you were young. But that was just so far away.
There are so many times I plan to go to like Florida or New York. I've never been to New York, and I live in Pennsylvania.
It'll happen this summer.
Yeah,
Trust
it
me.
probably will. I have more control over things like that now, where my parents never traveled.
Disney World is magical though, except for all the overpriced stuff and the dark child labor that goes on behind the scenes. I think. But
All right,
last one.
let's see.
So let me just pull up the photo. I was looking for a lot of shirts. Okay. It is this vintage McDonald's racing shirt. Look at that thing. I that's probably my
Alright.
favorite shirt.
Yep.
Good graphic design work.
Is there a back?
There is.
Okay, I don't
I'll
need to
show
see it. That's
Okay.
that's enough information.
That's enough.
Yeah, I mean these racing shirts are very popular.
Ooh.
Yeah, NASCAR is surprisingly the NASCAR clothing is very popular. I don't know many people who actually watch NASCAR, but a lot of people like the shirts
I
and
think-
the jackets.
I think there's underrated.
Again, all three of these are all over prints. The prints go throughout the whole shirt. This one, it's a more of a unique design. Some of the racing ones, it's like cars and stuff, but that's really it. This one has
Yeah.
McDonald's plus the moon, which is really neat. The nighttime, the stars. I don't think this would have went over 300. It could have gone over 200 though. I've sold a few similar to this in the 100 range. I had an M&M's one I sold. Probably
Yeah, I remember that.
I probably undersold that, but let's go 190.
Okay. Garrett, for the last one, you went a little bit. You went over again, or
Under
not
again.
again. It was $57.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a good buy.
I would consider that, because I think it looks like a pretty dope shirt.
Yeah,
But
maybe I did sell mine at a bad price then. Wow, yeah, that's good job whoever purchased that. They're reselling that shirt. They bought that to resell. Some old guy posted that on eBay not knowing what it was worth.
yeah, old man Jenkins.
Which is that's where I get
Got
most
finessed.
of my clothing.
eBay?
No.
Oh,
I just an old
people?
guy, yeah, from the old community.
Nice.
They fund my business.
Yeah, that was my favorite shirt, and the fact that it was the cheapest, I think that's a cherry on top.
Yeah,
But-
I don't wear expensive vintage. I have a few shirts over there worth a good bit, but
Mm,
I don't pay that for them,
yeah.
and I don't like wearing expensive clothes because then you have to worry about it. If I wear this, I can do whatever I want in it, and it's no big deal.
I agree.
Although this is actually a pretty nice shirt, because a lot of Napoleon Dynamite shirts. I'll give you a quick history lesson on the shirt. As I think your camera stopped. Look at your camera quick.
Let's see.
It might be low battery.
Yeah, it's low battery. I think we're good though.
Okay. Now we got to set up his camera again. This is kind of join us for. Oh no, you got that like perfectly.
Yeah.
Dang. All right. Yeah, quick.
No.
No. Man, for those listening, are like, what is going on? A little bit. Angle it this way. Other way. There you go. There you go. All right. But anyways, quick history lesson on this shirt. It's from 2004. Isn't too vintage. Yet at the same time, I was 2 when this shirt came out. But Napoleon Dynamite came out in 2004. But since it's a cult classic, it wasn't expected to be popular. A lot of the merch they made for the movie came out in 2005. So finding a Napoleon Dynamite 2004 shirt, it's
That's
a little
your
more valuable.
2004 shirt.
Yeah, you can see it says summer 2004. It's like a shirt made for the release of the movie. A movie promo shirt.
Do you still have that Pedro for President shirt?
I think.
You gotta bust that out. That's a bad boy right there.
I have a few Napoleon Dynamite shirts, as that's my favorite movie. But yeah, there you go. And if you want to buy some vintage clothing, go to Vintage Ooze. At my Instagram, you can check that out. I don't really post on there anymore, but you can see the website link of my shop. But There you go. What's it worth? Vintage T-shirts. And next we have our question of the day. Used to be what we started our episodes out on. Then we ran out of ideas for questions. But Ethan recently whipped up a ton of questions.
Guys. Don't
So
worry.
our future is looking good with these
Oh
questions.
yeah.
And for this one, this is one of Ethan's strong suits here, and that is, how would you prepare to a zombie apocalypse?
Yeah. If there's one thing I don't have, it's skills to survive a zombie apocalypse. But
You have the knowledge to it, right? Because you're a big Walking Dead fan, or were.
I used to be.
So
I think you're kind of overestimating my chances
you were
here.
pretty big.
I just think you're a noob.
Oh yeah, I have to ask some questions before I even think about what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Because you gave me a few tips, but I don't know what a zombie apocalypse. I don't really know the definition of a zombie. How does one become a zombie?
I'll set the situation for you before
All
we
right,
go.
because
About
I have
of
zero
survival.
notes on this. This is all coming off the top of my head because I don't know what a zombie is.
A zombie is an undead person. It's
An
a
undead.
it's a dead guy walking around with the intent to bite you and eat you.
So how does a zombie become a thing?
Let's say there's some sort of sickness virus that happens. It turns this dead guy. Oh, he comes back from the dead. He's a zombie. He bites a nurse at the hospital.
So you would say it starts as a virus?
Usually, yeah, some sort of
Okay.
sickness in the movie. Sometimes it's like an alien thing. Let's say it happens in a hospital. Gary, the dead guy, comes back from dead. He bites the nurse. That nurse turns into a zombie. She scratches another doctor. That doctor, because he's been scratched, he turns into a zombie.
Okay.
And now there's 3 zombies. They bite more people. They keep multiplying. Before you know it, millions of people are zombies.
Yep.
It's going to get to the point. I don't think the military will be able to stop this just because of how many people there are. Within 2 years, I'd say, within a year, 1 year, I'd say at least 3 billion people on the world will be zombies. A lot of zombies. It's going to be hard for us to survive that. But the only way to kill a zombie is you have to destroy their brain. So in the shows, you either like shoot them in the head with a gun, or you can't slice their head off because the brain isn't destroyed. So there'll just be a head that's chomping. I don't know how that works. That stretches the lines of fiction a little bit, but you have to you have to destroy the brain.
That makes sense because the very little bit I've seen of The Walking Dead, I remember seeing arms and limbs off, and they just keep going.
Now, if you get bit in the arm, if you're fast enough, you can cut your arm off before it spreads,
Easier
and
said
you
than
won't turn
done.
into a zombie. Yeah, easier said than just cut your arm off. But the zombies walk; they don't run. And what else?
Yeah. Yeah, most of my zombie knowledge comes from Plants vs. Zombies, another nostalgic game
Yes.
as a kid, where you plant a sunflower and it shoots sun at it.
I don't know. That you should have said that for the nostalgia one.
I thought about it. That was a big game in my childhood,
But I think I'm forgetting one other thing. Oh, you can use guns in a zombie apocalypse, but they're attracted to sound. So if you shoot a gun, a zombie that hears that gunshot within a mile, they're going to walk towards that sound. So
interesting. Okay. So let's hear yours first.
Okay.
Because I am so out west here with this topic.
I'm going to make it clear that the odds are not in my favor. Unfortunately, I don't want to say I'm going to die within a couple months, but just I'm taking on the whole world of zombies here. I don't know how I'm going to live, guys, but let's do this. So, you need to get food to survive for a little bit. So, I'm going to go on a Walmart run. That sounds terrible because everyone would be going to Walmart.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like
I'm getting in and out. The laws don't apply. I don't have to pay anymore because money is no longer important.
Well, if money's not important, then there's not going to be a Walmart.
Yeah. Everyone is just flooding the Walmart. People might be hurting other people in bad ways because humanity is crumbling within these first couple hours. I'm just getting enough food and I'm getting out of there.
I don't think there's going to be food out of Walmart.
I think I live in a close enough range to a Walmart where I can drive there immediately and get food and just get in and out. In and out. That's all I'm doing. I don't want to stay anymore in that Walmart. Next, I'm going to go to a museum. I'm going to go to the Reading Museum I'm going to get myself a samurai sword. That is my go-to weapon. It's just a matter of where can I find one.
For hitting brains?
Yeah.
That's like a limb weapon.
A samurai sword is sharp, man. I think I'm going to be
You
able
have to go through the skull, though.
I feel like I could do that.
All right. I'll let you keep going.
Because a baseball bat takes a little bit too much muscle and force, I feel like. Samurai sword, that sounds like the perfect. It's smooth. It's like a hot knife through butter.
If you say so.
No one's going to be at the museum. I can run to the museum, because who'd be at a museum? Stock up on my swords and stuff. And so I've got my swords. I've got my food. Me and my family, for the first couple weeks, we're just going to live in the attic. We're going to live in our house and just keep to ourselves. We're not going out there. We're going to hide, keep ourselves alive with food, and just protect ourselves. Now, I don't know. Eventually, someone might come in the house, try to take some food. We will fight for our property. But eventually, when we run out of food, then this is the point where we're going to have to leave the house, and we're going to have to be on the run. We're going to have to learn skills, how to start fires, how to camp, how to get supplies and stuff. While we're doing this, we're going to start making allies, I think. We're going to start meeting
that's what
up
I
with
was thinking.
Bob and Josie and Tom and Susie. I think of Ben's mom. Hey, Josie, you made it. So, me and Josie are going to survive the apocalypse. I want a good teammate that knows how to camp, that knows how to start a fire, that maybe has gone hunting a couple times. I want the type of women that have those TikToks on like how to make like homemade deodorants and stuff, and how to pickle onions and make jarred foods that last a while. I want those type of people in my group. And once we have the numbers, we're going to take over a prison. Because I feel like a prison has the security. We'll have the numbers, so we'll be able to get rid of all the zombies.
This sounds a lot easier said than done. I don't know how realistic
That's
some of
why I
this is.
started off with, I think I'm going to die. But if things go right, food supply run at Walmart, get the sword, live in the attic with my family, go on the run, live in the wilderness, make friends, get the numbers up, take over a prison.
I think much faster way to go about this. I'm saying we're early enough into the zombie apocalypse. We know it will be serious, but it is yet to get to that point where society doesn't function. So I'm going to commit a crime that sends me to jail. Now I'm in jail, and I'm protected.
I don't think...
Is that not a cheat code?
I don't think the process of going to jail will be a thing when this comes out.
That's why I'm saying I do it early.
Yeah, but from the time... You could be sitting in a jail like a police cell, like the local police station, but you won't be sent to a prison.
I'm doing something bad enough where they're locking me up.
That takes too long. That takes like weeks, the process.
Does it?
I think so.
If I do something bad enough, they got to be throwing me behind bars. If I act like a crazy person...
You're really going to ruin your morals?
I'm not doing it based because I want to.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
What about your family? You're leaving your family behind?
I'll tell them to do the same thing. We can commit a crime together. Go out robbing a bank.
So what happens when you're in a jail cell and you're just locked in there and you can't get the keys to go out? Aren't you going to starve to death?
Yeah, that's the problem. I am trusting the facility, but they can't just release all these prisoners, right?
What do you mean?
Like, even when the zombie apocalypse is a serious thing, like they can't just release the prisoners and be like, oh, all hell is loose. You gotta, I'd imagine they still function the prison enough to protect me. They still gotta feed me. I don't know.
I
Maybe
think there'd be that one crazy guy that says, this is the end of the world, and he just goes off the rails, and then that's like the domino effect. And
yeah, you're protected for the stable part of this apocalypse. Once you're down to the 10%, going to prison is probably setting you off in a worse spot, I guess.
You've got a good shelter, I think.
Yeah, like you said, you have to take it over where you're in control of the prison, not being in the system of the
that's
prison.
a hard feat for me.
Yeah, so I guess that wouldn't work. But yeah, really the biggest part's just teaming up, I'd imagine. And then maybe you've had... there's enough areas in the U.S. that are wilderness or no one's living there, and you can live that way. I think, like you have to find someone.
Definitely stay out of the cities. I think the problem with the wilderness, though, is if you're by yourself, like,
Well, it wouldn't be by myself.
if a horde of zombies comes, I don't know if we'll be able to outrun them. Because, like I said, they can't run, but if there's so many of them and they're coming from every direction.
Yeah, but I'm going into like the middle of nowhere, still a livable forest or whatever, and then just regrouping life. Because if I'm in a mile radius, none of them can hear me. No one's coming out
Yeah.
that way. The best way of a long-term survival, from what I'm learning about this, is
Hide and go seek. Just hiding.
not hiding, but also going where no one else is and learning how to live that way. Because long time ago, before us, they were living in the woods. So
yeah.
I'd have the.
You're going to become a Native American.
I think I have a history book down there that talks about like Homo sapiens and stuff. So I guess that'll help.
Yeah.
It has like some
when
cartoon.
in doubt, Homo sapien.
So that's what I'm gonna have to do is become a first generation Homo sapien or whatever.
What kind of people are you going to want in your group? The TikTok moms that can make homemade deodorant?
Those people sound great, but I don't know how I'm gonna realistically contact them.
Yeah.
I would just surround myself with people I like. I'd imagine more. Well, that's tough too. I guess more people would hurt because you have limited resources in the woods.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, more people can work towards creating shelter or finding food. So no, I'll take more people than less. So as long as I like you enough, then yeah, sure.
That's the biggest problem with the zombie apocalypse. I feel like but after a matter of time, it'll be human against human, because people are gonna get greedy. They're gonna want food for themselves, or they're gonna want to take over my prison.
I don't know if I'm enough of a leader for a situation like this, but you're gonna have the people finding food. You're going to have the people working on shelter. We're working together here. And it's going to be enough of a majority where if one person tries to single another out, it's not going to work.
I think in my situation,
easier said than done.
There's no way I'm going to be the leader realistically. So I would just have to ride the coattails, get along. I don't know what I would do. Maybe I would like provide some jokes. I'd have a little book of knock-knock jokes I would read to cheer everyone up and give them hope.
Yeah.
But
we'll run into the woods with our Diary of a Wimpy Kid books to reminisce on I'll
do some tricks with my swords.
I'll bring my hoverboard for the woods.
I guess
that'll be my way of travel, finding sticks But yeah, so
no
yours
one can laugh at me anymore. I can.
So you're staying in human reigns, taking over a prison. I'm going into the middle of nowhere and going back to Homo sapien mode.
The prison is
Stone Age.
Maybe it doesn't have to be a prison, but I'm going to live in my house for a little bit, enjoy the family. Then we're going to be on the run and just hunting and gathering, meeting people. And once we have a big enough group, hopefully we'll have strength in numbers to just take over whatever facility we want.
Imagine like in my scenario though, let's say we live 20 years in the middle of nowhere and then some guy's like, "Hey, I'm going to go back to mainland and see what it looks like 20 years after all these zombies."
It's like, oh yeah, that's
is that a thing in Walking Dead? Like 20 years passed and the zombies took over, and how does that? Like, do zombies even live that long?
There's some time jumps.
Can zombies reproduce?
No. One way to reproduce is to bite people. So, after a matter of time, I'd imagine you'd be able to kill all the zombies.
Yeah. So you just gotta live.
If you die of like a cold, you come back as a zombie.
If you die in any other way?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
So that would stink. So I don't really know if the virus would ever stop.
Yeah. So then basically you're dead no matter what.
Yeah.
Oh, that's no fun.
I guess. But after time, there's time jumps and stuff where people have built civilizations and communities.
Yeah, but although if this were a real scenario, I don't think if you died from a cold, you'd become a zombie. I don't think that really makes sense.
Realistically, I don't know about that. The only thing I ask if there's a zombie apocalypse, please don't make them run. If there's a running zombie, I stand no chance.
Yeah.
No chance.
Yeah,
Those
but I
things
think
are
those are
freaky.
two for me. Not really knowing much about Walking Dead or zombie apocalypses or survival
You
or
got a
even
good little
life. I'm only
strategy.
20. I don't know enough about life to really take on such a serious world problem. But I think we did pretty.
I
good.
like your strategy. Just living in the wilderness, just
Yeah, we're taking it
vibing,
back a couple
camping.
million years. Rough. I don't know the, but Adam and Eve times. We're bringing it back.
oh yeah.
But there you go. There's your question of the day: zombie apocalypses. Last but not least, this will be a quicker segment. This is this feels like a long episode. Normally we can see how long we're going, but right now we can't. No, this is a way we can tell. I'm at 5% on my computer. It was at a healthy
dang.
percentage. So we've been going a good bit, but this has been a good episode. I'm enjoying myself. But lastly, let's discuss our least and most favorite words. Now, the least favorite word that comes to mind for everybody is moist.
Yeah.
I love that word.
I don't like it or dislike it.
I don't. Well, yeah, that's the one thing with this. It's hard to love a word, but it's easy. It's easier, I guess, to dislike a word. But the word moist, I think, is a better word than it is a worse word. Because I think
of food.
Yeah, I think of a cake. Who wouldn't want a moist cake?
Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
Like moist is a great word. Why do people? Yeah, I don't get it.
Maybe just like use juicy instead, but juicy cake
But-
sounds kind of weird.
Yeah,
Like
no,
a juicy steak or a juicy
yeah, you wouldn't say
burger.
a moist cake, but
No.
because moist, yeah, because you want a juice. Juicy is more wet. Moist is, it's not wet, but it is.
Yeah, I'll stop saying that for the sake of our audience. That's not my least
Moist.
favorite word. Moist.
I know you. I don't know if this is your favorite word, but I'm gonna throw it out here because
I don't know if I have one. Throw it out there.
because
oh, beans.
yeah, every
No.
time I'm like, yo, Ethan, sound check the mic. He's like, beans.
Beans.
And
it's not my favorite.
Yeah, and
word,
it doesn't
no.
even help with the sound check because all I see is one spike, and then the rest of it's just bean. It's just eans, like yeah. It doesn't work.
I don't
but-
know what my favorite word is.
Beans is there you go. I would take ownership of the word beans.
No.
Maybe in the future when we're got thousands of listeners, if that ever happens, we're getting a T-shirt that just says beans. Period.
I've got people that say I say yeah a lot.
Yeah,
Just like people saying I'm like yeah.
that's a good thing too. Like,
That's too basic of a word though.
but you say it a lot, so it has to be a favorite word if you go to it. Is there something I say a lot that I'm not aware of?
you go.
Do I?
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
Like that.
that.
Yeah, I guess.
Or I do that. I do.
Woo.
You go.
That's not a word though. That's a.
You go.
Well, I guess it could be a word.
But what's your least? I think I know your least.
Yeah, I already
favorite
told
word.
you my least
Yeah.
favorite word when I was thinking about this segment. My least favorite word, it has good intentions, but it's, I don't even know if I say this right. Entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur. Yeah, that's not to think about it when you say it.
I don't like that word because you have a little Jimmy with a lemonade stand. It's like, look at this entrepreneur. Or the kid himself is like, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. No, you're not. You're selling lemonade for a couple cents. An entrepreneur is a career path, someone making career money. So many people, they call themselves entrepreneurs because they do something that is entrepreneurial, but that doesn't make them an entrepreneur. And I just think the word has become overused. And in this generation of people who don't really want to work or don't want to do something of, no, I mean, entrepreneurs are important, but in today's society, people want to be entrepreneurs, but they don't want to put in the work or actually
I
become
agree
an
that too
entrepreneur.
many people are calling themselves it, but I kind of disagree that it has to be a career path. I think.
Well, you got to be making career type money to be, or
I think
at
the entrepreneur is
least-
kind of like a life mindset. Like you find easier ways to capitalize on things to the benefit of others. I feel like.
That's not what an entrepreneur is. An entrepreneur is, you just like, you make money on your own.
I feel like an entrepreneur.
I don't
is
even know the official definition of entrepreneur. I just know
you
people that
find
call
more convenient solutions and
All right,
capitalize.
a
on them, I
person
guess.
who organizes and operates a business or businesses. Yeah. So they're saying they're a business owner. Think about that. Are you a business owner with a lemonade stand?
No,
Like, I sell vintage clothing. I am not an entrepreneur. That is a hobby.
yeah.
And yeah, and then it also says taking on greater than normal financial risks in order to do so. What I do is the opposite of that. I buy a shirt for $1. I'm not losing money that way. But yeah, and same with lemonade stand. You're not taking risks.
Yeah.
Now, I will say some people I know that call themselves entrepreneurs, if they were to do that full time, I would call that a risk. Like the all the different phases that I feel like come with entrepreneurship. I feel like entrepreneurship, there's a lot of
What
phases, like
the
Pokemon
stages of grief?
shoes. No, just like things that become popular. I feel like that's when the entrepreneurial people rush in. It's like, oh, I'm doing
Crypto.
this to make money. I'm an entrepreneur. It's like, no, it's just a trend. From what I see in like current like stock, I mean stocks have been around forever, but that all that hype around stocks and I guess more so Bitcoin. People are like day trading and that. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
enough about being an entrepreneur to.
I see where you're coming from. I can't really
But-
put into words my thoughts on that, but
I would once serious people start calling you an entrepreneur, then call yourself one. But don't be the person to call yourself an entrepreneur first. Just be someone who you're just trying to make money a different way. And then if you get somewhere doing it and you took the risks to get there, then then you're an entrepreneur. But it's just an overused word. That's mainly what it is.
it's like the doctorate degree. You have to earn it. I can't just go around calling myself Dr. Goletz. I have to put in years of work to earn that doctor title.
Yeah.
So you can't.
All right, we're at 2%. So let's do your least favorite word, and let's wrap this thing up.
It's ripe.
Yep.
Ripe in the sense of the way you smell. Like if I'm talking to like some guy and I go, he's like, yeah, I smell a little bit ripe right now.
Yeah, and people are like proud of that, aren't they?
I don't think so, but I throw up in my mouth. Just
Yeah, ripe in the sense of smell. Yeah, ripe
it's
in the
not
sense
like
of smell.
pure like sweaty body odor. It's just like
Scent.
ripe, like that dry.
Smell.
that-
like after you sweat and then you dry up and it still smells.
Yeah, that dry, unclean, just musk. Musk is another word you can throw in. Just anything that has to do with like bad hygiene for me, I guess.
Yeah, and
Ripe
ripe
and
is a
musk.
weird. Musk, I feel like can be a good smell. Ripe is always a bad smell.
Something about ripe fruit. That kind of has a good view to me. Ripe fruit. I think that.
Yeah, but when
That's
you use
interesting.
ripe for something that's not fruit, I can understand as well why that's kind of gross.
Yeah. Like,
But-
please don't come up to me saying you
Yeah,
smell
comment-
ripe.
Comment down below your favorite and least favorite words for whatever dumb or good reason you have. All of ours are dumb.
Did you say your favorite word?
I don't know if I have one.
Yeah.
I was going to say some favorite names. I'm naming my kid Paul in the future. That's my favorite name.
Name in the Bible, Paul McCartney.
Yep, those two right there. And I just like the name. And
I'm an alliteration guy. Gilbert,
Gilbert
Gavin.
No.
I'll name my daughter Grace.
No.
Granite countertop.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Granola. Granola. Ooh, I just thought of that.
That's not a good
What?
name. Granola. His middle name is going to be Bar. I don't know, but
Granola.
let's see where we're at
Ebola.
now. 1%. All right, really quick with the Bible verse. We're getting out of here.
Okay.
Anyways, this was from church today. The guy repeated it like 20 times. He wanted us to memorize it. I
Pastor
still haven't
Chad.
memorized it, but I'm gonna read it off because, like I said, I haven't memorized it.
Oh, the Lord.
But yeah, you want to try it? Because you're at the
It-
service.
It's you. I
Okay.
don't have it memorized.
I'll go. But you, O Lord, are a compassionate and gracious God, slow to anger, abounding in love and faithfulness. Psalm 86:15. So
I
yeah,
didn't get the verse at the end of that. Yeah.
Psalm 86:15.
Say it again. Make our audience
We're
memorize
at
it.
1%. But you, O Lord, are a compassionate and gracious God, slow to anger, abounding in love and faithfulness. So memorize that in the next 2 weeks, and yep, you'll see us in 2 weeks. Memorize that verse, and we'll be good to go. See ya.
Goodbye.